All right, y'all, what's happening? Let's get to this real quickly. Now, a few days ago, um, Deontay Wilder's team had came out and they've had a little spout with Alvander's Povetkin team regarding the drug testing regimen that's going to be conducted for their upcoming WBC heavyweight title fight that will take place in Moscow, Russia. Now we all know that Povetkin's team, which who has a shitload of money, they won the purse bid overwhelmingly, and they reserve the right to to hold the fight at a location and venue of their choosing. So since this is a WBC sanctioned title fight, Wilder's management has came out and they've strongly insisted that they will like this championship fight. Drug testing regimen to be undergo through VADA, which is the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency. JD's, who's the manager of Deontay Wilder, said, "quote," and this is an article from Boxing Scene, by the way. Shout out to them. It says here, "quote: The WBC has achieved a lot of success in testing for banned substance in collaboration with VADA. Boxing is a dangerous sport, and all fighters need to be sure that we're on equal footing. Now, Deontay Wilder is certainly willing to pass all the drug tests, or actually, excuse me, to pass all the tests of most professional and advanced laboratories in the world, such as VADA. Now, we hope that Povetkin will join us and agree to undergo stringent drug doping tests to show the world that in this sport, and athletes of the highest level are completely clean." And this is what he told the Boxing News of Ukraine. Now, Andrei Rabansky, who represents and who manages Alexander Povetkin, had came out and responded to this. He said, "No problem." He says here, quote, "Without a doubt, there will be serious doping tests for both fighters. However, and I do not recommend for Deontay's team to give him any dope." I don't know what the hell that means, but I'll leave it there. Now, from my understanding, and I took a look at Hatman Strikes Back's video. Hatman, shout out to Hatman, by the way. He said that Rabansky's team had came out. I mean, Rabansky, who is Povetkin's team, they recently came out and said that you know what, they don't want to undergo VADA. They want to undergo a independent European drug testing company to for this title fight. Now, if I'm Deontay Wilder, if I'm his team, I would be very, very concerned about that because we know that the Russians, I say the Russians, let me go ahead. I'm sorry, misquote me there. In Russia, they have a agency that's currently serving suspension. They've been suspended by WADA for numerous violations, and that agency is called RUSADA, which is the Russian anti-doping agency. They were found of numerous cover-ups of hiding results from prominent athletes coming out of Russia. And there also has been some scandalous situations where there was foreign athletes that go to Russia and compete, and they turn out to test positive for on results. And for example, Alejandro Duriadola and Marius Walk had recently, well, not so recently, they competed in Moscow, Russia, not too long ago. And when Duriadola knocked out the golden boy of Russia, I can't recall his name, when he knocked him out, he was found to test positive for a drug test result, which he disputed along with Marius Walk. And Marius Walk, by the way, fought Alexander Povetkin, which is Povetkin's last fight, and he tested positive, and he disputed those claims as well. Okay? So the WBC had intervened in the investigation, and they cleared both fighters of the charges, which is an implication that those tests were cooked up and they were bogus. Now, my question was, and I haven't gotten an answer to that question in one of my previous videos long ago, is who conducted the drug tests? So, for my assumption, it had to be RUSADA because no one was identified in that situation. So, if Rubansky is going to claim this is going to be an independent European drug testing agency, then it could be, this is only speculation, it could be RUSADA undercover. All right? This is only speculation. But with all said and done, the bottom line is this. With that said, I have to side with Wilder's team on this because I believe they are in the right here, and they should have every right to vouch and fight for Vada to be involved here. Okay, because Vada has a great track record of busting and catching dirty athletes. They have a great record. And I know some people are going to say in this video, they're going to say, well, Povetkin, if this fight was held in the United States, the Povetkin should be concerned about USADA. I was like, well, that may be true, but you have to understand the WBC has an agreement. So this is a WBC sanctioned fight for the championship. The WBC has an agreement with VADA to undergo drug testing agencies. I'm sorry, to undergo strict drug testing regimens. Okay, so yeah, and another point I want to make about this. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Today because I actually seen a video on his take on the matter. He said that look, just because an athlete's on steroids does not guarantee, or performance enhancement drugs by that matter, does not guarantee that they will win a fight. They may have an advantage to a degree, yes, but they will. That doesn't guarantee that they'll win a fight. I'm going to cite you some examples. Alexander Povetkin. Fernando Vargas. When he fought Oscar De La Hoya, leading up to the De La Hoya fight, Fernando Vargas was cut up and ripped to shreds. I mean, not ripped to shreds, he was ripped. And that's the only time we ever see Fernando Vargas ever ripped. Okay? And a lot of people, including Jim Lampley, was questioning Fernando Vargas' physique. But going into the De La Hoya fight, he looked obviously much bigger and much stronger than De La Hoya, but De La Hoya outpointed him. He outboxed him. He used his speed, head combinations, whatnot, and eventually wore down Vargas and knocked him out. Stopped him in that fight and busted up Vargas badly. And then that's when we found out that Fernando Vargas was caught using anabolic steroids. All right, same thing with Marius Wack, the guy that I mentioned initially in my video here. He admitted to anabolic steroid usage in the Klitschko fight. And Klitschko clearly outpointed and beat Wack in a dominant. Well, let's say in a dominant. Well, you can say dominant fashion, but in a sounding fashion, he beat Wack, and Wack was on steroids. So let's just get this narrative out of the way. Okay, people got to stop with this narrative that if an athlete's on steroids, that means they're cheating. Well, yeah, they're cheating, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. They're not going to win a fight, or they're not going to win it in a competitive field. All right, I'm not condoning an athlete to use steroids. No, trust me, I'm not. I totally forbid the practice, whatnot. But my point is this: is that we cannot have this narrative that when an athlete's on steroids, that means that they are going to win. They're going to win the fight. And they're cheating to win. I mean, they're just trying to get an advantage one way or the other, which I do not condone, as I mentioned. But again, if Povetkin is found to be on steroids, Deontay Wilder should just say, you know what? Go ahead and do what you got to do, man. Go ahead in there and knock the guy out like you've been doing, your 35 other opponents. Okay? Steroids or not, go in there and knock him out. Because we all know that Wilder accused Povetkin of using steroids or PEDs, whatnot, because what Wilder probably was referring to is that Povetkin has had a history of not having, great conditioning and stamina in his previous fights. But going into that Klitschko fight, Povetkin looked, even though he was getting fouled a hell of a lot of times by Klitschko, which Klitschko should have been disqualified for, he showed a great case of stamina. And that was highly unusual. And the fact that he also, ripped down his body fat, whatnot, anybody could do that. But that would probably led to the accusation of Wilder making against Povetkin, which I felt that, Wilder shouldn't have not gone that route. And I stated that in my previous videos as well. But anyhow, let me know what y'all think about this. Care to comment, share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.